You are actually taping. My God. Okay. All right. Time to make the funny. All right. Well, that's 5 minutes in. If anyone else comes in, they can just jump as we go. All right. Well, we're going to start this off by introducing ourselves. I'll go first. My name is Briley Lapine. I'm obviously a member of the Ontario Ghostbusters. I'll be acting as something of the moderator today, helping us move along.
And my name is Mike Tagani, and I've also been a member for quite some time now, and I'm in charge of public relations.
I'm Colin Russell, and I kind of started the group.
My name is Blake Jodorowsky, and I other little things too, fabrication stuff, charge of dyeing suits and stuff like that, electrician stuff.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Ontario Ghostbusters? Why don't you fill them all these lovely people in on what it is we do and why we look so damn good while we do it.
Okay, so basically what we are a group that does charity events. We love doing stuff for charity. We've supported groups such as Gilda's Club. We've done Sick Kids Hospital, and many other great things. We've also done stuff for MS Walk, and we love to get involved with the public and stuff. We love coming out to these things and educating people about what we do and how we make our props. And we were actually at a cool event last night called Rip Fest, and it was really great. It was really great. And
really hot too.
Yeah, it was really hot too. And one of the big events we do is it's a big charity hunt in October, which runs all of October. And it's for Sick Kids Hospital, and we also do it now it's an organization that helps troubled teens. And so it should be great, and we're looking forward to a great year.
Yeah. Well, that's there. How could it not be great, right? All right. Well, the next part that we're going to go through is a little bit we call the dressing a Ghostbuster, and basically we're going to invite one of you up, and we're going to slowly put on the equipment and explain each little bit as we go through. And it's you, sir, if you'd like to take off the trench coat and put on one of these stylish flight suits.
You sure you don't want to start squeezing one?
Yeah, no, I think I'm good.
Right up here, my friend. Now, I find it's usually best to do 1 foot at a time, but hopefully you know how to dress yourself by now. If not, you're at the wrong panel, buddy.
No, I also have a fat costume that's similar to it, so.
All right, these were the flight suits that were used in not the actual flight suits, but these flight suits were used in the basis of the costuming. These are Air Force flight suits, and in the movie they look very, very gray. That's actually the lighting scheme that's in the film itself. They were actually more of the tan khaki color that we're showing off now. Where's the color? There you go. There's a lot of manufacturers for these. You can get Army Surplus, which are the best. You can get them custom made, actually, from the guys who made the flight suits in Ghostbusters 2, but it tends to cost a lot more. Or you can get something like this, or you can get the Rothko cheaper ones, which again, work just fine for a beginner, no problem. All right. Mike, would you like to help me with the belt, and you'll explain some of the belt while I help them get dressed up, so you can talk about the various bits and bobs on it?
Okay, so this is basically a military issue gun belt, and you can get them in black, khaki, green, whatever color. And obviously for the GB2 suits, we usually go with the black. But this is our custom-made trap holster. This is what is used to hold the trap onto the belt. And this is what is called the belt gizmo. It was never really explained what it was for and what it was used in the movie. We don't even have any idea either. But we have our own use for it.
Originally, this was actually a circuit board from a calculator that they just ripped out and put in a sling. So, this round on it.
The closest thing that we found for the real use for the belt gizmo was like a radiation type reader. Read the actual levels that you're taking on, if you're taking on any kind of like kinetic energy or radiations or anything like that. The idea was that if your levels were to get too high and you were to become, like your radioactive levels were too high, that these would actually produce like a pitch sound, like a really high beat, to know that you should get out of there right now and you're taking on too much radiation.
And this right here is a custom-made leather holster to actually holster the PKE meter. Mine's a little bit different, but yeah, there you go.
Oh, here, we'll talk about the PKE as well before we put it on.
Yeah.
All right, PKE meter. This is one of the Maddie collector ones. So they recently, just the last year, came out with a line of these, which is very, very nice if you can still get them, because there was a limited run. Beforehand, something like this could cost you several $100s. Just the servos and the making it, the resin casting, all of that. It was expensive. Maddie came out with these for about 50 bucks and made a lot of prop guys very angry because they lost revenue from it. And made a lot of prop buyers very happy because this is actually a very well-made thing. All right, and this can slip in right there. All right, next, the fairly unglamorous but the still quite necessary shoulder pads. Now, these were originally knee pads, girls' soccer knee pads that were dyed, and they had elastic sewn on the inside to help keep them snug to the arm. Your arm there, my friend. Now, they don't actually make the exact models anymore of what they made. Again, you know, it was the 80s, man. A lot of those were ass style. But, I know, flock of seagulls forever, man. Right? But your best bet for these, there's a couple who are very near ones. These are one of the very near ones. Or you can have a custom-made one. But like anything else, custom-made stuff tends to cost a little bit more. Right? So, would you like to explain the PKE goggles?
The ecto
Oh,
goggles.
the Echo goggles, yeah.
The ecto goggles here, as he's got there, and we've got a couple different models. Okay, some just cut different color schemes, everything else. We have ones that are made out of resin, and then ones that are an actual frame from what's the actual frame?
It's a welding goggles.
Welding goggles, right? And you have your lenses and everything. And what it is when you actually look through them, or what happens with your computers?
Mine actually light up. They are configured with the LED sets.
Okay, these ones here basically have green film. And what the idea is when you look through, even if you look through, you'll probably see the green film. The idea is that it's kind of like a night vision type. It's kind of like a night vision type goggle, and the idea is when you're looking through it, green means clear, and if you kind of come up to anything that has like a red hue, or you see a red figure or anything, then you know that you found something that's paranormal, and or likely like some kind of manifestation or apparition. So it kind of helps in all different environments. So if it's light, dark, anything, you'd be able to find where your spook or specter is and keep an eye on them, because a lot of them would sometimes vanish and you wouldn't be able to see where they were.
So I got a question. That's a build. Because I
This is
recognize
a build,
that.
yeah.
I recognize all the different pieces. Now, is that a kit?
This is actually made from
Oh, really?
Okay.
Nice.
And we will be
So
talking
that's a
about.
straight up build. Then.
yes.
We're going to be talking about the building of the props. The next part, we're just going through what they were, how they were made. These were originally night vision goggles, and they actually didn't do a lot to them other than they stuck one of the goggles, they kind of stuck something else on just to make it look better and to break up the outline. So we're going to put
Science
this
fiction.
on your forehead there. And then we come to the part that, you know, you should all be very glad that he's the one up here and not you, because we come to these, the chemical gloves. All right, rubber gloves, and they seem harmless, don't they? They seem very nice. But, and if this is the other hand, there you go. All right?
Probably
Oh,
just
yeah.
understands,
So I'm used to being on the other side.
On the side of the
the
dressing
glove, yes.
This is his first week on the planet, so
Speak to you later. All right. The problem with these is that, one, they warm up very quickly. And two, they
Cool sweat.
They don't leave your hands smelling the best. But don't they look cool? Doesn't he look a lot more badass with this stuff on? Yeah. All right. Next, I might actually ask you guys for one of your traps to hang on his belt, and I'll use mine as a demonstration. Is the trap. There you go. I remember him. All right. The traps. All right. These were custom builds for the movie. They're they're featuring a lot of technology, especially resistors, and this is going to be true on the on the proton packs as well. These are featuring a lot of stuff that were going out of stock, out of style in the 80s, and they have not become more easy to find since then. So right now, some of these are resin models, some of these are actual metal pieces that we've managed to find. Now, some of these are blanks or dummies that have very simple lighting structure. Yeah, works great. And the best part about it is these will fit on the trap holster with very little weight added to the whole belt assembly.
Okay. So here, you have the track on the other side. So you would just slide it in.
Just like that.
Just like that.
There you go. And wrap this around here.
But
Goes on
then,
there.
you also have some heavier models like this that have working electronics in them. So, you turn the trap on to start the electronic. There we go. If you press the pedal once, and then depress,
Go depress.
one, up,
Your door is. Oh, just a tap.
just a little tap, and then it comes up, and then press it again. Right down.
Sweet.
Blinking, out it goes.
Nice.
Very lovely. But the problem with this, again, one, aside from the added expense of adding electronics, you also add basically a lot of weight onto the end of the trap. All right, and finally, we're going to put on the pack. So, why don't you guys talk a little bit about the pack, and I'll suit them up.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so we'll go back to the middle here.
Back in the middle, all right.
And if you'll just turn to face the crowd.
Yep.
First to right on.
So the pack itself utilizes this frame here, which is a U.S. military Polaris frame. Now, this is the same type of pack frame that they would use to carry their big pack sacks that they would trip around in. They would just utilize that same pack frame without doing any changes to it all, other than maybe putting a bit of padding on it here. So when you've got this on, pull down these straps to get it to up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to hike it up a little bit so that it rides up on your
Maybe
shoulders
not that
nice.
far.
You want, because you want the weight up here, right?
Way up there.
So that it's not really dragging down too much in the back.
So
And then we also have
keep
these
the strap
strap.
back. The strap goes around the front to stabilize it.
There you go.
Try run.
So the packs themselves,
Good to turn on?
Sure.
Great, thank you.
the packs themselves can vary in weight depending on what materials are used. You get some of these pack shells, like if you start out building one of these with just a pack shell, you can either go with like a vac form plastic pack shell, which would be very lightweight, but not as durable. Or some people start doing like a scratch build where they start building from wood components using the plans that you can find online, building all the components individually and attaching them to the motherboard itself. Or you can go with a fiberglass shell. It's a one-piece shell that you would add all your parts onto. So basically all the different components here, everything has a name. Pretty much,
In the fan section, lots of them have functions.
yeah, research from the fans out there. They've come up with different names on things, and a lot of things on the pack are actual fittings and real
Yeah.
world parts that have been used, like clipper valves, flow control valves. You've got these NiCoil banjo fittings, which are pneumatic fitting. These elbow fittings are pneumatic fitting. This was some type of a bellow system. Got a ribbon cable here with the clamps attached to it.
Simple resistors all up on here.
This is an ion arm here.
And all the tubing is actually from pneumatics, that's air pressure control systems. They basically use that because it gives a better visual pop on camera. It's bigger so it turns up and it's brightly colored. Alright, put it around. Excellent. Because now we're going to turn it on. Alright.
Nice.
Everybody loves that
Oh, my
part.
back's vibrating too.
So the gun itself is called a proton or a neutrino wand. Again, it's got some usable parts, flow control valves. This is a heat sink type device here. All your different dials in here for fine tuning your stream.
You have a simple Dixie cup bracket, what are these, to fit to your pack. These are the same things that we use on the Ghost Trap. Very simple stuff. All right, now if you press and hold the intensify. Yes, it actually shakes. And that's really one of the fun and cool things about it is when you get the lights, when you get the vibrations, when you get the sounds, and especially as you say, when you turn it on and you feel the rumble of the soundboard kick in.
Definitely helps sell it.
It really helps. It's one of those little things that the owner of the pack really recognizes and no one else. You're going to stand there grinning like an idiot and everybody's going to be looking around going, what's with this guy? All right. Now this one actually comes with a soundboard that includes several music files, which is one of the fun little things you can add to any pack.
That's going on the list.
All right.
So now, with all of it on, how does it feel?
Weighty.
Weighty?
Yeah.
But
Weighs a lot more than my Boba Fett, that's for sure.
Okay, good. What about the flight suit? Do you feel like it's hot? Like right now, it's probably not too bad because you're in.
No, it's not bad at all. And again, like I said, I've worn like suited up costumes and all that.
So it's not too.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's nice and light, which is kind of nice.
There's actually like the difference between that suit and these actually, because these ones here are like
These are
military
Nomex.
issues.
Yeah,
These
these
are
are-
Nomex ones.
Yeah.
These guys want these here. Like in the winter, we love wearing these because
Oh,
it really
sure,
keeps
yeah.
the heat in.
Yeah.
But in the summer, again, it keeps
the heat in.
right? So it's kind of give take a little bit.
Right.
The other ones that we have, because we actually have our the second movie featured the actual charcoal suits.
Yeah.
The ones that we have with those, basically what we do is we take a standard black Rothko suit. Okay, it's a Rothko, it's different from the Nomex, and what you do is you just bleach it and you dye it the color to get to the proper color. But the suit is so much lighter; it's a different material. It's not as well built as the Nomex, but because it's a lighter material, it breathes so much easier. So when you're wearing the actual GB2 uniform, you feel so much more comfortable moving around and whatnot, especially if you're doing anything outside because the material breathes so well.
Now, there's a few bits and bobs that aren't on this exact one that are on some of the others, like the walkie-talkie. Some of the boys have radiological meters on their pack holsters. These are little things that are in the movies that can be added, but one of the things you actually start to run into is belt space usage. You start getting a lot of weight around the belt, a lot of space usage around the belt, and you start very quickly starting to have to go, well, what am I going to add, and what am I not going to add, and how much do I really want to be carrying around?
I'll put it this way, in the movies, they didn't wear everything on their belts in every scene. So if you look through the different stages of the movie, you'll see them with different components on their belts, depending on what shot they were doing. Sometimes they just had a couple of key fobs hanging and an empty trap holster. Sometimes they were fully suited up.
So again, on his belt we don't have the walkie. He doesn't also have the mini rad. Who has a mini rad right now? So the mini rad is.
They're on the
You guys have them on the straps, right?
Yeah. Well,
So I didn't show them that. And that's actually
This is
designed.
just another type. This is an actual real world radiation detector used in one scene of the movie on the rooftop. Egon. But it's one of those things that just add little bits and pieces. We just adapted a holster that we made to go onto the actual belt right here. Just nice and snap on here.
I'm keeping that. All right. Russell, you brought some actual real-world ghost detecting equipment. I'm going to help him take some. Oh, you didn't bring it in? Well, in either case, the next part of it is actually talking a little bit about how to make some of this, and you're going to be talking anyway. So you can start about that, and I will help this guy get out of the increasingly warm, I'm guessing.
Slightly, yeah. Alright, just slide up to the center.
I know.
There we go.
You didn't have
One.
a space for it. I didn't know we were just.
Perhaps we could talk a little bit about the basic way of making a resin mold, because obviously a lot of this is resin mold.
So, has anybody done any kind of resin casting or any type of stuff?
Yeah, sounds good idea, yes.
And then the pack actually will come off first too.
Okay.
So the next thing will be actually pack the house frame, so just undo the cubes around.
I should just.
And then actually,
loosen this.
yeah,
The
the
pulse,
pole,
right?
yeah, and then it goes down.
It always helps having someone help smooth the stuff off. Because they
Thank you. In the movies, you
Yeah,
will
you're
see
on-
them helping each other on with the pack and off with the pack. That was not scripted. That was the actors going, we need help with this, and this will help sell it.
Yeah, one of the rumors was that Bill Murray always wanted to wear the foam stunt pack because he hated the weight.
Yeah.
I think Dan Aykroyd got a fairly bad shock on the packs as well, because it got wet.